Okay, so today we are diving deep into Tbilisi.
My kind of deep dive. Love Tbilisi.
Yeah, we asked, for some listener suggestions, and this one really stood out. So
Right.
we got a list of 5 must-sees. And, wow, let me tell you, ancient fortresses, sulfur baths, sign me up.
Yeah, this is a really good list, actually, because each spot sort of gives you a different lens into Tbilisi, into its past, into what it is today. It's really cool.
I am so there. Let's start with that fortress, though, Narikala Fortress. Perched up high, looking out over everything. It's got to be an incredible view. What's the story there?
Narikala. Okay, so this fortress goes way back to like the 4th century.
Wow.
I know. And it's always been super important for the city. It's up on this hill. You can see everything. The whole city, the Mtkvari River snaking through. It was essential for defense.
Can you imagine being a soldier stationed there centuries ago? Talk about a view.
Right. You'd see trouble coming a mile away. Plus, I bet sunsets from up there.
Don't even get me started on the sunsets. Our listener mentioned panoramic views. It must be something to see how the old city sort of blends with the newer parts from way up there.
Oh, absolutely. You get a real sense of the city's growth, how it's sprawled and changed over time. But yeah, you can see it all from the ancient core, old Tbilisi, to the modern stuff that's sprung up more recently.
Okay, so from way up high, Narikala, we got to head down into the heart of it all. Old Tbilisi. I'm picturing winding streets, centuries of history.
You're getting it. Old Tbilisi, it's where the city's soul really comes alive. Like if you want those Instagrammable shots.
Don't we all?
Totally. But seriously, wander around, soak it in, and pay attention to the architecture too. It's this amazing mix. You've got Persian, Islamic, Georgian, all these different influences.
Our listener mentioned something about colorful buildings and cafes, but honestly, what really caught my eye were these intricately carved wooden balconies.
Oh yeah, those are iconic Tbilisi. Some people say those designs came from caravanserais, like those old roadside inns.
Wait, really? From the Silk Road days?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So you're walking those same streets, and who knows who else might have passed through.
I love that. And speaking of traditions that have stood the test of time,
Hmm.
we got to talk about these sulfur baths. Centuries old, part of daily life. Intrigued is an understatement.
And they're not just some tourist trap. Locals love them.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Going to the sulfur baths, it's a whole thing in Tbilisi. It's social, it's relaxing. People have been coming to these same springs for centuries.
It's that whole thing of wellness rituals. It's not just about getting clean, right? It's about connecting to something, to a tradition, a place. It's different.
Totally. And then from those ancient baths, let's jump to something completely different.
The Holy Trinity Cathedral.
Exactly.
A modern marvel our listener mentioned, finished what, just a couple of decades ago?
Relatively new, yeah. But so impressive.
It's got to be something else, seeing this grand cathedral in a city steeped in so much history. What makes it so special?
Well, for one thing, it's huge, like one of the biggest Orthodox churches around. It really shows how important faith still is in Georgia today.
Yeah.
Architecturally, it kind of blends traditional Byzantine stuff with a more modern style.
A mix of old and new, just like Tbilisi itself.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered history, culture, but every good trip needs a little fun, right?
Of course.
And our listener's pick for that is Mtatsminda Park.
Great choice.
Amusement park, funicular ride, it's got to be a ball.
Mtatsminda Park is a classic. And the way you get there, riding the funicular up the mountainside, is half the fun. It's this old-fashioned railway car. So charming.
A funicular, that sounds like an adventure in itself.
Oh, it is?
And I bet the views from up there are unbelievable.
Well, see, now you're thinking like a local. Mtatsminda Park, you're up on Mount Mtatsminda, right?
Yeah.
Total opposite view from Narikala Fortress. One's this ancient stronghold, the other's, well, an amusement park. But both give you these incredible panoramas. On a clear day, you can see forever.
This is why I love traveling. A little history, a little culture, and a whole lot of those pinch-me moments.
you said it. Tbilisi's got it all.
For our listeners who, like me, are already planning their Tbilisi trips, we'll link some helpful resources in the show notes. Go check it out.
Definitely do.
And until next time, happy travels, everyone.
Happy travels.